Are you a graphic designer, photographer, web designer, or videographer? If you find yourself working with a lot of graphics and images, then you'll greatly benefit from understanding the different common file formats available to you and their unique advantages and drawbacks. I'm Adam from Messenger Bag Media, and today I'm going to go through some of the most common file formats someone working with or creating graphics and images will encounter. Keep in mind that there are many different types of file formats, and these are just a few of the common ones that you'll become familiar with when working in any visual media field. It might be helpful to differentiate the two main types of image or graphic file formats, vector and raster. Let's begin by talking about some different types of raster formats and what they do. Rasterized graphics or images may be the file formats with which you're already the most familiar. A raster is constructed by a grid of pixels. Raster graphics have a resolution, referring to the dimensions of the image or graphic. These images can be large, high-quality files or smaller, low-quality ones. However, even at extremely large resolution, raster files will always be limited to the number of pixels it's made up of. Whether your image is saved with a pixel density of 72 ppi or pixels per inch for digital or web, or 300 ppi for print, will determine how large your file can be scaled before losing quality or sharpness. One common raster file you may be aware of is the JPEG. The JPEG file format is one of the most common image formats, particularly used for photographs and images with complex color gradients. JPEG files use lossy compression, meaning the original file data is removed and any adjustments or corrections made to the image are baked in. This can lead to a subtle loss in quality. While this compression may be helpful if you're creating images for the web where load times are priority over compression could lead to quality issues. This is especially true if you're reprocessing a JPEG multiple times and can lead to that deep-fried look so commonly associated with memes. JPEG images are best used on the web and other digital uses, but are not typically recommended for print materials. Another file you've probably seen before is the PNG file. Unlike JPEGs, PNGs support transparency. Also unlike JPEGs, PNGs use lossless compression. This means no matter how often you save or edit these files, they will retain their original quality. PNG files are often used for video assets and web-based designs where transparency is required. Next, let's talk about some other commonly used raster files. PSD files are native to Adobe Photoshop. This is a non-destructive file format that supports layers, meaning edits to an image are reversible and does not damage the original image if used properly. These files are useful because they allow for editing the images using Photoshop tools. However, they're limited in their exclusive compatibility to Adobe Photoshop software. TIFF files, on the other hand, are similar to PSD files, but are more universal. These files also support layers and transparency, but are not native to any specific platform. TIFF files are lossless file formats and are great for printing, but less ideal for web-based applications where quality and the size of the file might result in long load times, if they're even compatible. Lastly, let's take a look at RAW file formats. You might know these as CR2, NEF, or ARW files. Think of these as equivalent to digital negatives. Unlike JPEG, PNG, and TIFF files, RAW images retain all the information captured by the camera's sensor with minimal compression. This gives photo editors the flexibility to adjust the white balance, hue, saturation, and, to an extent, exposure without degrading the image quality. RAW files are extremely large and are not usable by the vast majority of applications. These files are best used for the non-destructive editing of images that will later be saved as JPEG, PNG, or TIFF files for their appropriate usages. Next, let's talk a bit about vector formats. Vector graphics do not use pixels and therefore don't suffer from the same pixel density issues associated with raster files. An image taken from a camera will never be a vector image. It's inherently rasterized as a digital camera's sensor uses pixels to capture information. However, logos, text, and other digital graphics can be saved in a vector format. This format is essentially a mathematical equation about the object's shape and properties.
It's a mathematical term, a quantity represented by an arrow with both direction and magnitude.
Therefore, no matter how large you scale a vector graphic, it will never degrade in quality.
Oh yeah!
One of the most popular vector formats is AI, which is native to Adobe Illustrator. Adobe Photoshop is raster-based, although it does support vector objects. But Adobe InDesign and Illustrator are vector-based. This means that the applications preserve vector data and allow for the easy editing of individual elements in a non-destructive manner. AI files are vector-based and support artboards and layers. With that said, like PSD files, one of the drawbacks is that AI files are exclusively compatible with Adobe Illustrator. An EPS file is similar to an AI file in that it's vector-based and supports artboards and layers. However, think of EPS to AI as TIFF is to PSD. EPS is a more versatile file format and is not limited to Illustrator, and is commonly used in print applications. With that said, although EPS is not native to a specific software, it still requires specialized software to use all of its available functions. This is why PDF files are so popular. PDF files are primarily used for documents and support vector graphics, raster images, and embedded text. PDF files are great for sharing designs while preserving quality and formatting, but do not offer the same level of functionality as an EPS or AI file. However, they are compatible with a wide variety of applications and therefore are accessible by clients for reviewing designs or other projects. I hope you found this quick overview with some of the most common image file formats useful. Now you'll have a better understanding of when to use what files for the best quality and compatibility. Leave us a comment letting us know which file formats we missed and which ones you'd like to see us cover next time. Please also leave a request as to other topics you'd like for us to cover. If you're looking for tips and tricks to improve your graphic design, videography, and photography skills, check out our channel. Perhaps your media needs are greater than you can manage on your own. Messenger Bag Media is your one-stop media shop. We serve businesses large and small for all communication needs. Visit messengerbagmedia.ca. Reach out and let's create something amazing together. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.